This game recap is brought to you by IBC Bank. IBC Bank, we do more. The year was 1987. Ronald Reagan was enjoying jelly beans in the White House. Oliver North was not enjoying the Iran-Contra affair, and the NFL was trying to dig itself out of a failed players' strike. That was also the last time that the San Antonio area failed to get a single high school football team into the state semifinals. Back then, there were only 6 tournaments, as divisions didn't start rolling in until 1990. Fast forward 3 decades, as there are only 3 teams remaining in Class 2A Division II. Falls City took on Burton in San Marcos. At the Alamo Dome, 6A Division I, Austin Lake Travis taking on San Antonio O'Connor. But the featured matchup of the weekend down here, 6A Division II, as Austin Westlake took on Cibolo Steel. The Knights are in the state quarterfinals for the 8th straight year, which not a lot of people thought would happen after a 1-4 start, but a new quarterback and a much improved defense has led to an 8-game winning streak. For the Chaparrals, they've already beaten one of Steele's district mates in the playoffs. That was Smithson Valley in round number 2, and they have Nakia Watson, one of the top running backs in the state and in the country to be exact. So how would all these matchups play out? Would anybody get to the state semifinals? Well, let's take you to the field and check out the highlights, brought to you as always by IBC Bank. There is 15-year-old quarterback Wyatt Beagle leading the Knights out onto the field. Speaking of number 8, he came in 8-0 as a starter, but he had not faced anyone nearly as strong as the Chaps. Westlake, though, was not typical Westlake throughout. Early on, quarterback Taylor Anderson passed complete to Jacob Ramos, but Javion Cardwell knocked the ball loose, Jalen Reed with the recovery, and he had a nice run back to set up the Knights. And on the ensuing possession, Brendan Brady with the short touchdown run, Knights with the early lead, 7-0. Second quarter, Westlake running back Nakia Watson bounced his way off the Steel defense into the end zone to tie the game at 7. But mistakes kept Steel in it. Westlake inside the Knight 35, but Taylor Anderson's pass picked off by Cardwell. Ensuing drive just before halftime, Beagle with the 4-yard touchdown run, game tied at 14 at halftime. Second half, Nakia Watson took over. A 4-yard touchdown run, his second of the game, gave the Chaps a 21-14 lead. He finished the game with 182 rushing yards. Westlake defense gave Beagle problems all evening long. Steel had just 1 second-half first down. Chaps overcame 4 turnovers to get their first ever win over Steel, 28-14 the final, and they move on to the state semifinals where Cy-Fair awaits in Houston.
We just all told each other, like, we got this, like, don't panic, we can do this, just everybody do their part, don't worry about nobody else's job, just strain every play and we'll come out on top.
Challenged him. I said, you're not going to get any rest. We're fixing to feed you the ball, and of course he scored made a 1-play drive, and that was a big deal for us.
Earlier game at the Dome, O'Connor looked for the upset over Lake Travis, but they had a ton of trouble stopping quarterback Matthew Baldwin and Garrett Wilson. Wilson can play receiver, running back, and defense. Game tied at 10 in the second quarter when Baldwin found Wilson wide open for a touchdown, 17-10 Lake Travis. OC's biggest problem was staying on sides, as they were flagged 6 times alone for that 1 penalty. On to quarter number 3, where Baldwin and Wilson continue to play pitch and catch. Wide open was Wilson on a 31-yard touchdown, 24-10 Lake Travis. Fourth quarter, OC had a chance to get the ball back if they could stop the Cavaliers on 4th and short, but could not, as Kyle Wakefield picked up the first down. A few plays later, Wilson put the game away with a touchdown run on the near side. He had 2 rushing and 1 receiving touchdown under the roof. Defending state champions went on to win 38-17 to move into the semifinals and will face Katy, who blew out the Cavaliers in the state final 2 years ago when Lake Travis was in Region 2. That matchup will take place at Alamo Stadium here in San Antonio. That left 1 team from the 2-1-0 or 8-3-0 still alive. Let's head up I-35 to Bobcat Stadium in San Marcos, where Falls City took on the Burton Panthers. Burton located right outside Brenham. The Panthers led by running back DeMondrick Winters. He would have a big night on a chilly night. He was back and forth early on as Falls City quarterback Keyshawn Johnson threw 2 touchdown passes, one of those on 4th down to Tyler Gonzalez, plus he had a couple of 2-point conversion runs. In fact, there were 6 lead changes before the Panthers faced 4th and 4 at the Beaver 17 in the 3rd quarter. Quarterback Caleb Hamill ran a mini play-action play. It fooled Falls City, and he found C.J. Briscoe wide open for the score, 34-23 Burton. Ensuing kickoff, the line drive kick went off a Falls City player, and the Panthers recovered the ball. That luck began an avalanche of points from Winters. 48-yard touchdown run by the junior. He made it 41-23 after 3. On to the fourth quarter, where it was more Winters. He had 3 more touchdown runs. He finished the game with 8 touchdowns, 6 rushing, 2 receiving. Burton piled up 447 rushing yards and a 69-45 win. The Panthers scored touchdowns on 7 straight possessions, led by Mr. Winters.
It was all about seeing what they had in mind, and then, you know, just adapting to it, like I said, and just coming out and playing hard and not giving up.
They got into a set, they were kind of their goal line set, and we just couldn't really kind of stop them right there. And like I said, credit to Coach Hody and his football team. I wish them the very best.
Some news and notes from around San Antonio and Austin. While the Alamo City struggled in the playoffs, the Capital City area has 5 teams in the semifinals, with McCallum, Cedar Ridge, and Wimberley the others, a fact that was not lost on Westlake head coach Todd Dodge.
So proud of the Austin area, greater Austin area football. We've got four teams in the Austin area going to the semifinals with Cedar Ridge and with McCallum. What a great story. McCallum and AISD, proud of all of those teams.
Reporting from San Antonio, I'm Greg Sherman for Friday Night Glory.